Did you know that in Africa, when it comes to women's representation in politics, Rwanda is leading the pack? Over 61% of their parliament is women. Senegal comes in second with 44%, while South Africa at 45%. In fact, across the continent, the average is around 27%. But do you know who sits at the very bottom of that list? Nigeria, ranked 54th out of 54 countries, one of Africa's largest economies and most populous nation on the continent. A country of over 200 million people, where women make up nearly half the population. Their representation in parliament? Just 4% in the 10th National Assembly. 4 senators, 16 representatives out of 469 seats total. In other words, in a country where every other person is a woman, only 1 in every 25 lawmakers is female. And if you interrogate further why this is the case, you will soon begin to unpack a crisis that goes far beyond numbers. Behind these statistics is a concerning reality. Nigerian women who seek political office often face a lot of barriers designed to push them out. These barriers take many forms. In 2019, Salome Abu, a 60-year-old women's leader in Kogi State, was burned alive in her home by political thugs after an election. In 2022, Victoria Chintex, a local women's party leader in Kaduna, was shot dead as elections approached. During that same 2019 election cycle, at least 2 women party leaders were killed across the country. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, a lawyer who ran for Senate, had her campaign office set on fire and faced repeated attacks on her convoy. These aren't just isolated incidents. This is a pattern. Studies by the Interparliamentary Union, the National Democratic Institute, and UN Women document that Nigerian women politicians routinely face violence designed specifically to push them out of politics. Campaign materials destroyed, death threats, and physical assaults at rallies. The fear of violence for oneself or one's family exerts a chilling effect, discouraging many women from even considering running for office. According to a 2021-2022 survey by Stand to End Rape, about 20% of women active in political spaces reported experiencing pressure, at least sometimes, to trade sexual favors for professional or political opportunities. In 2019, Charity Dahosa, the sole female candidate for Oredo West constituency in Edo State, went public about what she encountered. It will shock you that people I looked up to for support often asked for sexual gratification before giving their support, she told reporters. I know this may sound funny, but it is real. A lot of women out there cannot speak out on these unpleasant experiences. That same year, 27-year-old Okonla Beoll, running for a House of Representatives seat in Lagos, reported that local leaders demanded a sexual commitment as collateral for their support. She also stated that even electorate promised their vote if she would date or have a sexual affair with them. Ndi Kato, a political activist who ran for a Kaduna State House of Assembly seat, observed a vicious cycle. If I point out sexual harassment in the political space, I get further removed from the space. I become the villain in every situation. Sylvanus Okelma, who contested for the Enugu State House of Assembly in 2019, summarized her ordeal. I faced a lot of sexual harassment, and my agents were attacked. Women who dare run for political office often face attacks on their character, their morality, and their very right to participate. Mrs. Ladi Watila, contesting for a House of Representatives seat in Borno State in 2003, reported that male colleagues openly called her a prostitute and told her she should be in her husband's kitchen instead of in politics. In Kano, Ms. Tagwai Aji saw her campaign posters torn down by locals who declared, "We don't want a woman as a leader." She received threats until she was forced out of the race entirely. As political discourse shifts online, Nigerian women face a new front: digital harassment. A 2025 report by Gatefield identified a national emergency of digital violence. An estimated 68.9 million Nigerians have suffered online abuse, disproportionately affecting women and girls. During her 2019 gubernatorial run, trolls circulated false claims that Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan had multiple children by different men to damage her reputation. In 2025, amid her confrontation with the Senate leadership, an audio clip surfaced online with a voice resembling hers making inflammatory remarks. She denounced it as cloned audio and a false video, a deepfake designed to discredit her. The Inter-Parliamentary Union has warned that deepfake technology is increasingly being used to put female politicians into fake but compromising positions as a tool of harassment and reputational sabotage. These barriers don't exist in isolation. In Nigeria's male-dominated political culture, leadership is still seen as a man's job. Cultural and religious norms are often twisted to justify exclusion. The barriers are also structural. Politics in Nigeria is extraordinarily expensive. In 2023, major political parties charged as much as 100 million naira, about $67,000, for presidential nomination forms. In a country where minimum wage is 70,000 naira per month, these costs effectively lock out most candidates, especially women who generally have less access to wealth. Beyond fees, the system is dominated by godfathers, wealthy power brokers who determine who gets party tickets. These men typically support male protégés from their existing networks, sidelining women to token positions such as women leaders. And perpetrators of violence and harassment rarely face justice. This culture of impunity creates a powerful deterrent for women considering political careers. With all these barriers, Nigerian women have never stopped fighting for their place in leadership. In the 1950s, Hajiya Gambo Sawaba campaigned for women's right to vote in northern Nigeria. It was recorded that she was imprisoned 16 times, publicly flogged and assaulted. She became known as the most jailed female politician in Nigeria, yet she never stopped fighting. Margaret Ikpo became one of Nigeria's first female lawmakers when she won election in the Eastern Regional Assembly in 1961. Sarah Jibril became the first woman to ever run for president. In the 2011 party primaries, she received just one vote, yet she kept running, becoming a trailblazer. These women have shown extraordinary courage, but individual bravery isn't enough when the system itself is designed to exclude. So, what's the solution? Evidence from around the world shows several approaches that work. Gender quotas have transformed representation elsewhere. When Rwanda mandated 30% women in elected positions, female representation jumped to over 60%. When Senegal required 50% women on party candidate lists, representation leaped from 22% to 43% in a single election. Nigeria's proposed reserve seats bill, could create guaranteed seats for women in federal and state legislatures. Yet, this bill continues to face hurdles in the Senate. Legal protections matter. Bolivia passed Law 243 in 2012, criminalizing political harassment and violence towards female candidates. Nigeria needs similar legislation to ensure all attacks are investigated and punished. Political party reforms can change the gatekeeping. Lower nomination fees, mentorship programs, and codes of conduct that sanction members who harass female colleagues. And as digital harassment grows, Nigeria must build capacity to counter online abuse and deepfakes. Creating an enabling environment for women in Nigerian politics isn't just about women's rights, it's about Nigeria's future. The path forward requires courage from women candidates, yes, but also bold reforms, political will, and a collective recognition that democracy only works when it represents everyone. The next generation of girls is watching, waiting to see if they will grow up in a country where a female president, governor, or parliamentarian is normal and not impossible. The question isn't whether Nigerian women can lead, it's whether Nigeria will finally let them.